on it. I'm your host, man on the planet, and the winner in multiple leagues this week. Here tonight to talk his shit. Losty Mix, how are you living on this beautiful Tuesday evening?
Hey man, first off, my brother, it's always a blessing to be here with you every week. And of course, you already know when you see this Nas fade, it can only be one brother, the good brother, Losi Mix. Man, another week, another. Look, I don't wanna. I'm gonna wait till we get to the fantasy part later. But let me just say, I feel like I've been drafted well. That's what I
Yeah,
said. I feel like I've been
you.
drafted well. I feel like I've been drafting well, but my man, I've been good, man. It's been I was in Chicago for a good portion of last week, so shout out to Chi Town, Chi City. It's a beautiful city. For those who maybe hear what you hear about Chicago in the news, I want to really advocate that Chicago is a beautiful, beautiful city. Uh, Other than that, man, you know what I'm saying? It's another day, another dollar. You know how I'm getting into it, man. I'm just out here just trying to make $1. Trying to be like you, man. Just trying to be like you.
You are better than me. But I will say, for the people that follow D on Instagram, your stories this week, you were going through it. You were like, I'm a Packers fan and I'm in Chicago and I'm having a great time. This feels wrong. Like you were cheating on Green Bay.
Well, it was game week. So really, I was just a fan who was in town visiting. Although the game was played in Wisconsin, not in Chicago, so it was definitely interesting. But it was definitely, it was also the beginning of Hispanic Heritage Month. So I want to take my time to shout out my Latina brothers and sisters out here who are listening
Hey,
worldwide. Shout out, shout out to y'all. I mean, Chi-Town, they really go up. So I got to give them credit for that. It was a nice little time for Hispanic Heritage Month. Had me a nice little pineapple margarita. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my margarita fans, my cocktail fans, pause. Had me a nice little margarita. But you know what I'm saying? Danny, how have you been, man? How have you been?
uh, let's break this down into phases. On the fantasy side, I am in the absolute gutter. I don't know if I've ever been this low in my life, but in real life, the Eagles are 2-0, and we're going to talk about that later.
Yo,
I
you are
stay
so funny, yo. Oh my goodness.
like you know me, I'm a creature of habit. I am an old man. I like to be in bed by 10:30. Last night I pushed the boundaries and I pushed my limits to 11:30 to watch the rest of the game, and I was up until midnight because the adrenaline was flowing. I was so excited, and I woke up this morning and I was exhausted. I could barely finish my workout. I got to work and I immediately reached for the extra strong coffee, but it was worth it. It was absolutely worth it.
Y'all played a good game. The Eagles played a really good game. I know we'll talk about the your state of the Eagles later, but the Eagles they looked pretty good.
Yeah,
Another
well,
team who doesn't look bad in the NFC East is one New York Giants, but we'll talk about them
okay.
later.
Yeah, we'll
We'll
talk
talk
about
about
the
them.
Giants later.
You want to let the people know who we are brought to them by.
Yes, as always, this show is brought to you by goingfor2.com. Head over to goingfor2.com for all your fantasy needs. It is fantasy season. We are not knee deep. We're about ankle deep. It's been week two. The playoffs will be here before you know it. Teams and divisions are starting to shake out. So head over to goingfor2.com for all your fantasy needs. We also want to shout out our new sponsor, No House Advantage. No House Advantage is changing the game by offering the most dynamic fantasy sports platform available today. Play pick'em style contests versus other people for the shot to win $150,000 or even a little bit more. Here's what you need to do: download the app, use our promo code GF2, G as in go, F is for four, in the number two, and get a deposit match up to $25. Choose a contest, select your player props, earn points for correct picks, and climb the leaderboard for your shot to win extremely big money every single day. You can also test your skills versus the house and earn 20 times your entry if you hit all of your picks. It's a really enticing offer, especially for getting a deposit match up to $25. Again, bet on 5 player prop over unders or individual player matchups across every major sports league. That's football, the NFL, NBA, MLB, PGA, MMA, and even NASCAR for all the car fans in these streets. Again, our promo code is GF2. Use it at nohouseadvantage.com or download the app on the App Store and get a first deposit match up to $25. Make sure to check out No House Advantage today and experience daily fantasy sports redefined, because it's not just how you play, but also where you play. Also, if you have a gambling problem, I believe the number is 1-800-GAMBLER or 1-800-GAMBLING, something to that effect. You have a computer in your pocket. Google the number if you have a gambling problem. D, what are we talking about tonight?
Man, tonight we have a pretty packed block of scheduled, block of topics for everyone today. We're gonna start out chatting a little college football, seeing what what the world has to say, or what we got to say about a few of these games that we witnessed. It was we saw a few ranked teams go down, so I'm curious to hear your thoughts there. And of course, in our second block, we're going to get into week 2 in the NFL. What are we thinking about some of these comebacks, or maybe we shouldn't call it comebacks that we saw across the league? Of course, we're going to give our shout outs to the Las Vegas Aces. Wish we had some air horns. Of course. Then, of course, we're going to touch on a few different topics in our outro, and then we are going to speak on our Speak to Us segment of the show. So let's kick things off with a little college football. So Danny, so this past weekend, man, we saw a few college football ranked teams go down. BYU took a spanking to Oregon. I guess Oregon knows how to beat one team in Utah. Michigan State fell to Washington. Michigan State fell to Washington.
Yes.
And we also saw Texas A&M beat Miami, which was also a ranked program. So I guess of all the programs, not even the ones that we mentioned here, which college football program you think this weekend had the biggest statement win or biggest statement loss to you?
So this is kind of I'm going to have a trick answer to this, right? So University of Florida won. They beat South Florida, but it took some late game heroics, and they only won by 3. Dog, UF might be some mid like that. Like UF might be just some grade A. Like I stopped watching Michigan State versus Washington to tune in to that Florida game because it was so close. Also, Wake Forest, I see you too. You almost lost to Liberty at home. So you are in the same boat as UF. Those are two big things for me. App State is blessed. They won on that Hail Mary. Could they get into the group? They've already lost the game, so they cannot get into the college football playoff. But that would be cool if they could. And then for me, it's about the slate this week. We're starting to get into more interesting games, some conference play. Clemson plays Wake Forest. Undefeated Maryland plays undefeated Michigan. Very interested in that game. Arkansas plays Texas A&M, and then the Saturday night game, Wisconsin at Ohio State. Wisconsin always seems to play Ohio State tough. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, first off, love all those points. I think those are great points. I think one of some of the bigger wins on my end were some of the kind of kick your ass wins. So Ohio State, Michigan. To your point, Clemson is another team I'm still trying to figure out, man.
Yeah,
like, I think they're good, but I don't know. I would also say what Brent Venables is doing in Oklahoma is very impressive. So I want to give Brent Venables some credit there, and that coaching staff. And man, I guess Lincoln Riley. We're still trying to figure this out in Southern Cal and what they're about. So I guess as they're getting to your point, as we get into conference play, if this Lincoln Riley USC team is a team we think it is, let's see it, because there's, as you see with Oregon and you see with Washington, there's some teams. There might be some teams in the Pac-12 who can play. I also want to give shout out to Oregon State. I don't know why, but I'm just giving them a shout out. Listen, Bama and Georgia, we get it. Y'all are on a collision course to playing each other again if Ohio State doesn't have something to say about it. So we get it. But since there's now 12 teams in the playoffs, and I had to sit there and watch all y'all kick all y'all's opponents' asses, and I have to realize that this is what the future of the college football playoff is gonna, look like. We got to talk about it. BS, man. 12 teams. All right.
12
So
teams.
I guess outside of the wins and the losses, what else in the college football landscape, whether it's coaching changes, coaching firings, do you think we should be speaking about as well?
Before we get to that, Gator, I like UF, but you can't sit here in this chat and tell me they ain't been submitted. Like you almost lost South Florida at home.
Gator, I would be curious to know, and thank you, Gator Jay and Jamie and Kyle for pulling up here. Gator, I'd be curious to know your thoughts on Anthony Richardson at the quarterback position. I've been seeing a lot of Florida fans switch up on Anthony Richardson. So I'd be curious to hear about where you think he can take that position. I think a lot of people are saying he's more of an athlete. He plays quarterback, but I think why can't he be a great quarterback as well? Give him time. Um, I guess given time. I guess something I want to speak to is Nebraska. Y'all are down. Your fan base is down so dirty. Why are y'all screaming? We want Urban. No, y'all don't. What do y'all think that's really going to change?
All he gonna do is bring the NCAA with him.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Y'all gonna get some recruits that you ain't never thought you was gonna get before, and you gonna wonder how. And Urban gonna say, you know what? Never mind.
No, they're screaming for Matt Rule too. Like, you want Matt Rule? That's where we at in these streets. We want Matt Rule and Urban Meyer.
Matt Rule's the Carolina Panthers coach.
Yes, he is. Oh, Matt Rule not gonna survive this season. He not gonna survive the bye week. He's lost 9 straight.
You think so?
Oh no, dog. You can't, and we'll talk about this later, but you can't lose to the Giants at home and expect to keep your job after losing to the Browns week 1.
We'll talk about that because I definitely have something to say about that. I definitely want to get to that. I think Gator J had a question for us actually, real quick. He said, "What do you think of UGA?" He said they are the top, they are at the top, but then there are about 10 teams.
Yeah.
Gator J, I'm gonna be honest with you. I think there's 3 teams, and I think there's 7, 8, 9, 10. I think there's 3 legitimate contenders, and I think there's about 4 teams who could maybe play one of these contenders hard and potentially make a run. And then I think there's about 4 teams that are just fooling us. They're fooling America. They just run around out there. Bam said Herm Edwards got fired when he was walking off the field. Marcus Freeman's clock is ticking. You know what, Bam? I'm glad you mentioned that. I just want y'all to see the lack thereof of leashes when it comes to black coaches. Although I believe Herm Edwards,
he was there for 5 years.
He was there for a few years. I don't believe he took him to 3 bowl games. I don't know what was going on, maybe behind the scenes. Marcus Freeman, you could see, he is going through the small intricacies of what it's like to be a head coach and everything that comes with that. You could obviously see he's been in this coordinator role for a while, so he's still definitely learning the full head coaching job. I think it's a little premature. I definitely think getting your first head coaching job at the University of Notre Dame is something. But Marcus Freeman got it. Gator J, in regards to Anthony Richardson, says he loves him. He has a lot of things to work on, but he could be the next Lamar Jackson. He has all the talent, just needs a little bit more seasoning. Plus, he's only played 5 games. I agree. Jamie said that Gator J is his favorite Gator. Love it. Love it.
I will say, to Bam's point about Herm Edwards being fired, the fact that they couldn't do it in the tunnel, like he got fired on camera. Like there's someone recording that conversation between Herm and the AD, where the AD is pretty much like, "Hey, yo, that's it. Like you're done." Like there's
so
something.
Was there? I want to ask you: was there any prior beef? Was there something going on, or what?
I don't know. All I know is like I was on Twitter Sunday morning in the film. Again, like this wasn't shot by like Arizona's social team. Like there was just someone with a camera, like a media crew, like a news reporter, and they filmed Herm Edwards coming off the field. The AD is right there with someone else, and he shook Herm's head. And you can, And you could tell he was like, yeah, like you're done here, my guy. And then there's another photo of Herm at the airport catching just a regular flight home. Like he didn't even fly home with the team. Like, yo, like let him fly home with the team. Like fire him in Arizona. Like the way he was released just seemed really disgraceful and distasteful. And how
Did
could
they
you?
lose this weekend, Arizona
Yeah, they
State?
lost to Eastern Michigan or something like that. Let me see who they lost. I want to be accurate.
Mm. Why is it that schools pay all these programs all this money to play, and then if they lose, the first thing they want to do is fire the head coach?
I mean, that's the easiest scapegoat. No, Arizona State lost at home to Eastern Michigan, 30-21. Like that's
It's
wild.
ugly, but I, I,
Like you can take it. Like you can take Herm to your office. Like let him address the team, and then you can take Herm to your office and be like, "Hey, that's it, dog." Like you don't have to fire him on the field.
I agree. I definitely think there's some intentionality to that, and to Bam's point, black coaches have a much shorter leash than others. Oh, whoa.
Yeah, you
Uh,
don't know about the Brian Kelly story?
uh, ugh,
Do you?
what?
Do you know the Brian Kelly
All
story?
right, tell me.
So there was one practice at Notre Dame and it was very windy. And Brian Kelly made a staff member who was a student get on the scaffolding to record practice. During practice, it was so windy, I believe, Bam, correct me if I'm wrong, either the scaffolding fell or it gave way and that student fell off the scaffolding and died.
Oh, actually, I think I do remember that. I think I
Yeah.
do. Remember that.
Like either
I
he fell off the scaffolding because of the wind or the wind knocked the
Gra-
scaffolding over while he was
Graves and
filming
Phillies the
practice.
same man's family. Uh, man, oof, yeah. But Bam, I think that's not only across college football, that is also across the NFL, where black head coaches have a lot less of a leash than their white counterparts. But I think that's also why you got to give someone like a Mike Tomlin so much credit for what he's been able to do in Pittsburgh. Um, and kind of just a great transition into week 3 in the NFL. So Danny, I think in week 3 in the NFL, we saw a number of teams come back from multiple scores in the fourth. Now, as you guys know by the title of this episode, maybe we shouldn't call it a comeback. Maybe they were really the better teams and they just figured it out late. Either way, we saw a number of teams avoid the 0-2 fall. We saw
Yeah.
some playoff teams fall to 0-2. So I got to ask you, what are some of your biggest takeaways from week 2 in the NFL?
One's kind of a joke, but it's not. I'll save that for the end. Bengals, you're in trouble, and of course you are because Joe Burrow is my fantasy quarterback. Joe, need you to pull your life together. There's no excuse that a team that employs Jamar Chase, Joe Mixon, T. Higgins, and Joe Burrow should lose to the Dallas Cowboys in such a tight, close, low-scoring game like that. Like there, I don't care where that game is played at. Like I need more. Was it 19-16 or 16-13? Dog, it's not that hard. Throw it to Jamar. I do not care if Jesus is draped on Jamar. Throw it to Jamar. And if
Look
you
at
get picked off, so be it.
look
Second
at where
thing,
you taking the culture. I don't
what?
care if Jesus is draped on him. Hey yo, do you hear yourself?
Yes, I do hear myself. Now I hope Joe hear me too. Throw it to number one. It's the easiest math on earth. Second thing for me, yo, the Broncos are some mid as well. You talk about the Texans at home?
So what I want to do is I want to take the time. What I want to do is I really want to take the time. I want to take the specific time to go back to a specific
Oh,
standings
here we
that I
go.
had because it was almost like I called some of this and I told y'all that the grass ain't always greener on the other side. Now, why nobody want to believe me when I said it, huh?
Take your victory lap. You were right. Like that
And
Texans game,
I gotta find it now.
you do that, and I'll go to my third and final point. Cleveland Brown fans, you will not know peace if you keep taunting the alleged victims of the Deshaun Watson sex scandal. Like if I see another photo of someone like this week, they had like a dummy laying on a table with an erection, and there was a sign that was like "Happy endings aren't illegal." Y'all will not know peace until you
Hey,
stop
yo,
taunting. Yes, and then there I saw another picture of a couple that had on custom jerseys. One said pull, the other said tug on the back.
Uh,
Y'all will not know peace.
I see they bugging.
Y'all will not know peace until you stop taunting these people.
Hey, yo,
Chill out.
are they like dead ass? Like, what?
Like they are dead ass. And I know people are like, well, that's not all of us. Nah, fam. Like y'all need to police each other. Like that is wild.
Mhm, mhm. So I want to remind everyone, man, that I called that the Denver Broncos would be is that 8-9, 8-9. Does that add up?
Yep, that does.
Yeah, I
Eight
called the
nine.
Denver Broncos to be 8-9 and 2-4 in their division. I called the Las Vegas Raiders to be 9-8 in their division. I
You're
mean nine
right.
and eight and 1-5 of their division. Maybe I was wrong about the Kansas City Chiefs at 9-8, but we'll see. But another team I want to speak on a little bit since we're here. Um, so there's this team in New York, two
Yeah,
teams in New York actually.
two of them.
One of them being the New York Jets, who I had being an 8-win team. The other is the New York Giants, who I had being an 8-win team. Both of which are, I believe, one is 1-1,
The Jets are
and
1-1, and the
the Jets
Giants
are
are
one
two
and
and
one,
zero.
and the Giants are 2-0.
Yes.
So Danny, is it me or is my Giants take not looking too crazy? Maybe
Dog,
I was
they
trying to tell y'all that a soft schedule with accumulated multiple first round picks with a newly vamped offense isn't maybe all a team needs to juice a few wins under a new regime.
you know what's
They're
really
trending in the right.
frustrating? I'm sorry, keep going. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, go ahead. I was waiting on you. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay. So you know what's frustrating about that? They got the Cowboys this week on Monday night, right? In New York. They'll probably win that game. And then they have the Bears. They'll probably win that game. And then they get the Packers, the Ravens, and the Jags. And then all this is going to come crashing down because the Giants are ass. They're just not as ass as they usually are. But we're not
But
talking about if they're a good team. We're talking about your win totals, right? And you're probably right. But no, you had the Giants winning the division. Am I correct?
no, I'm looking at. I had the Giants at. I had the Cowboys win the division at 10-7.
Oh,
I
you
had
had the Eagles in third place and the Giants second in the division.
yeah,
That was what that was. Absolutely not.
yeah. I had the Eagles at 7-10.
Absolutely wild.
Uh, the Giants fans will go crazy if they go 4-0. Yo, the Giants go 4-0. I'm gonna tell you right now. Not only are they making the playoffs, but they'll likely be a first round
Yeah,
exit.
they're not making the playoffs, dog.
What do you
That
think of the Ravens and the Dolphins shootout?
I loved it. Got to the point where Red Zone just went to that game. Was like, yo, we just gonna watch this game. Like we don't care about nothing else. Like we're gonna watch this Jets game, and then we're gonna go back and forth when necessary. Like we just watched. It was a great game. Like
It was
I
just a great game.
is my opinion on Tua changed. I need to see it a little, not 6 touchdowns, but if he can spread the field the way he did, like this is what we envision with all that speed, right? Like, hey, Tyreek, just run. Jalen, be fast. Like that's a problem.
What did you think of the Buffalo Bills stomping the Tennessee Titans?
I wasn't surprised. Like, get used to that. Like the Bills, that offense is so dynamic. It's so electric.
Mhm. Okay. What did you think of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers
Mhm.
and the New Orleans Saints really taking it, getting a little dicey, a little spicy?
I think Mike Evans and Marshawn Lattimore need to box it out. Like they've got to 3 altercations. Like, yo, like we talk about celebrity boxing. Yo, put them in the ring. I'd love to
Was
watch
that
that.
Tom's fault? Did Tom kind of start that?
It yes and no, but I get what Mike Evans was saying. Mike on the field was like, "Yo, that's Tom Brady. What do you want me to do?" Like I just can't have someone just talking to the goat like that. But at the same time, Tom don't need nobody to defend him. He the best quarterback ever.
Lenny was over there too.
Yeah, Lenny was over there. Like I think Mike just want an excuse to swing on Marshawn. And
Yeah,
he'll swing on Marshawn whenever he can.
he's appealing the suspension too.
Why? Like you punch that man with a clothes.
Now he kind of he kind of yeeted him.
Like
Kind of yeeted him.
he not going
Yo,
back.
why can't the Indianapolis Colts win in Jacksonville?
Why can't the Indianapolis Colts win at all? You have Jonathan Taylor. Like, yeah, I was told Matt Ryan is better than Carson Wentz. It don't look like it. Well, Michael Pittman was out this week, right? So that's a big part of the offense. But dog, are the Colts that bad? Do you think the Colts are that bad, or do you think the Jags are actually good?
I think what Doug Peterson is doing with Trevor Lawrence is really, really good. So
Mm.
glad to see that. And so I don't know. The Jags aren't bad. They got some good players. They got a number of good players on both sides of the ball.
How did you feel watching Kyler Murray scramble on that 2 point conversion? Like, how did you feel about that game?
Um, I'm gonna be honest with you. Watching the Las Vegas Raiders and the Arizona Cardinals was really confusing me. It it's gonna read as a comeback. It's really a mid off. That was a real mid off. That game was a real mid off. Shout out to the Arizona Cardinals who were in the battle of the mid offs, but that was a real mid. I came away and I was like, I'm like, yeah, both of these teams kind of lost, but I guess the Cardinals lost less. Whatever. Whatever. Shout out to the Arizona Cardinals and Kyler Murray.
That was hilarity. Like I was
Patriots
cooking.
win. Patriots win in Pittsburgh. What are your thoughts there?
Funny story. I'm going to a wedding next month, so I went suit shopping Sunday afternoon because the Eagles played Monday night in the suit store. They're playing the Patriots Steelers game, and I almost asked them, "Yo, turn this shit off. This is the most boring. Like there are high school games that are more Pittsburgh dog. Like just put in Kenny Pickett. Like he can't be worse than Maserati Mitch."
Okay. So here's my thing here. Here's my thing here. Do you honestly think that Kenny Pickett would operate the offense at better than Mitch from what they have seen in practice?
I mean, can it be worse? Like what? How many points are the Steelers averaging this season? Like
They might
8?
be yeah, they might be averaging a touchdown or so. I
Like
guess
you telling me Kenny can't lead one touchdown drive a game? Like is
against
he
a
that
real
bad?
NFL defense, against a real NFL scheme, against real NFL speed, it's a little bit different.
Then this is the JJ Watt has a torn pec. Like this is the time to get his feet wet. You can't do it when this team was on the verge of winning a championship. Like do it now. Like what is Mike Tomlin going to lose playing Kenny Pickett this year?
The confidence of the locker room. Maybe if the locker room and the organization knows that Kenny Pickett's not ready, what does it say to your organization if you start a quarterback, the most pivotal position on the field, too early than it needs to be started? You're basically saying we don't believe in this team and where it could be, so let's just go with the rookie and our future and build on that. And what you're saying is to these veteran guys that you guys are, you know what I'm saying, we're not going to be in a competitive spot for you guys to maybe who are on the tail end of your career and looking for championships.
I
So
mean, my response to that would be Mitchell Trubisky is.
he was the best available quarterback on the market. Remember that this wasn't their quarterback initially. Or rest in peace, Dwayne Haskins.
That's true. I don't know, man. I am a believer of if you aren't like the 49ers, right? Like if you aren't the 49ers and you are a quarterback away from being a contender, why not let the kid get his feet wet?
Because they're not ready sometimes, the tape knows. I don't know. It's a good question though,
Fair.
because sometimes they do be ready. Sometimes they really do be ready. Yo, shifting away from football a little bit, and that's going to shift maybe a little to the WNBA.
Yes. So did
Yeah.
you? So of course, Game 4 was on Sunday during the football game, so I had to go in between. So actually, I ended up having my iPad watching the Aces game. Um, it was a great game. The Aces done. It was a close game. The Aces put out the win. Chelsea Gray won Finals MVP, which I am not surprised. I will read off a few. Someone on Twitter posted like her averages to the playoffs and her true shooting percentage, and it is absolutely insane. So she averaged 21.7 points per game, 7 assists, 72.7% true shooting percentage on 14 attempts per game. 54.4% from three at 5 a game, and then 65.5% from two. Chelsea Gray, like I know the league would have preferred Asia win Finals MVP, and she would have got like the Triple Crown, Defensive Player of the Year, regular season MVP, Finals MVP. But anyone who watches playoffs know when the Aces needed a bucket, give the ball to Chelsea Gray and get out of her way. It was great. I enjoyed it. The celebration was great. Anyone who's on Instagram who follows any of the Aces,
They've been
they were really, yeah, they were getting, like, they were
they up.
drunk.
Shout out to them.
Like, imagine getting drunk in Connecticut and having a good time. That's
No, I'm trying
absolutely
to go.
insane to
Look,
me.
I'm trying to go to Vegas. See what they talking about. Hey,
Mm.
Aces.
All right, I hear you. I will. Yes, like how to Becky Hammond,
Shout
Greg
out
Popovich,
Becky,
Greg Popovich
Mrs.
coaching
Becky Hammond.
tree bears
She
fruit.
is a champion.
She's a champion, and I can't wait till she takes over for Greg Popovich in 3 years because that is what's going to happen.
You think so?
Yeah, Greg. I like it makes too much sense. Last thing, next year, I think the Connecticut Sun, they have been to the WNBA finals 2 of the last 3 years and have lost both. I really hope Jonquel Jones can get over the hump because she is a beast. She is Kevin Durant-ish. She shoots like Kevin Durant. She wears 35 like Kevin Durant. She's the same build as Kevin Durant. She's a monster, but she did not show up in these finals. And I hope this time next year we can say something different.
Who else would you like to see win a championship next year and that we should be on the lookout for?
Oh, Jalen Hurts, baby. You know the answer to that.
Okay, so we are going to switch over to our quick hitter section. We are going to get, what is this foolishness you over here talking about, Jalen Hurts? I'm over here thinking you're about to talk about a WNBA team.
You meant a WNBA team. I would love to see
Nah, people, y'all see how we do it?
Skylar Diggins get one too. I'd like to see Skylar Diggins Smith get a ring.
That'd be incredible. She plays for
Phoenix.
Yeah.
For now. This offseason is going to be big. I know Brown and Stewart is a free agent. Candace Parker is a free agent. So the powers that be could shift really quickly this offseason.
Maybe one day we'll see Maya Moore come back.
The biggest what if.
All right, getting to our quick hitter section. Well, actually, let's see what the people are saying. So Kyle also says, congrats Aces, and way to show him back. You really appreciate that. When we were talking about our NFL segment, Gator J said Kyler ran that ball like a child that just stole their mommy's phone. Gator J, you sound like you know that all too well. Kyle, being research, also said in our NFL segment that the Giants went 0-2 to start every season from 2013 to 2021, except in 2016, which is the year they went to the playoffs and they lost to the Green Bay Packers. That was the boat trip that they went on. First and foremost in our quick hitter section, we want to send our prayers up for Trey Lance. Gruesome injury. Hope for your speediest of recoveries. And
can we park it right there for 1 second? Because I have a gripe. Yo, when we see these gruesome injuries on TV, we don't need to see the replay. Dog, red zone, slow mode, and zoom. Dog, I don't need to see Trey Lance break his ankle 7 times in slow mo.
Yeah, I had to look around. I had to start walking around.
Stop with these slow mo injuries, dog. We good.
It's definitely not ideal. But again, prayers up, speedy recovery up to Trey Lance, man. I think all of us as football fans and I know your teammates in San Francisco are waiting for, and praying for a speedy recovery there. Given this, Danny, I guess this leaves one Jimmy Garoppolo as the starting quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers for the foreseeable future. So I guess, what do you think? What does this mean for Jimmy? He really can't lose now, right? What does he do now?
Porn star Jimmy wins again. Like that, if the team does good, Jimmy wins 60-70% of his games. Like the 49ers make the playoffs. This is the perfect situation. This is Trout. He's a free agent after this year. If San Francisco wants you back, just in case Trey's not ready, the price of the brick is going to be astronomical. If there's a team that needs a quarterback that sees Jimmy lead their team to the playoffs, they can talk themselves into it. So barring Jimmy's health, as long as Jimmy is healthy and the 49ers make the playoffs, it's a great season for him.
Yeah, it's funny. I definitely agree with you there on he can't lose either way. I'm definitely curious to see. I think this is a win for both Kyle Shanahan and Jimmy Garoppolo. I think as I was watching the play calling, it seems like Jimmy G is the quarterback that runs the offense, to which I think Kyle Shanahan is looking forward to.
Mhm.
And it further so just kind of lets me know that you know maybe that Trey Lance pick was a front office pick and less of a Kyle Shanahan pick. But you know, I'm curious to see how they continue to figure out this offense and this pieces with Jimmy G in there. I know this was the same offense that took them to NFC Championship game, but they're currently without George Kittle, and even when they do get him back, there's still some integration that goes in that, and also how are they going to continue to use Debo Samuel? Elijah Mitchell is hurt now, so
Yep.
I know they told Debo that he would be used less as a running back, but I think they lied. I think they lied. Uh, yeah. And other NFL topics. I know we chatted about the game between the Dolphins and the Ravens earlier, but I wanted to get in something a little bit more specific. So I remember during the summers, specifically during draft summers, and when teams were draft season, a lot of people looked at Tua and they said he really couldn't throw. Right? They said he was kind of noodle armed. He under threw a lot. This weekend he comes out, throws for six of them things,
6-0.
over four over 400 yards. So I guess we should be laughing at the criticism now that Tua can't throw to these receivers, right? Or do you think he's still the underthrow king?
I think it's somewhere in the middle, like that throw to Tariq Hill. I think you know what I'm talking about. Tariq had to slow down, and luckily no one was around him because it was a little underthrown. I mean, if we're comparing Tua's arm to Patrick Mahomes' arm and Josh Allen's arm, then yeah, it's a noodle arm, but his arm
Okay,
is
but who said
strong
that though?
enough, huh?
Who said that though?
I mean, when you compare, like when people are comparing Tariq in Kansas City to Tariq in Miami, like the natural thing is like Patrick Mahomes is throwing him the ball, and Patrick Mahomes, outside of Josh Allen, has the biggest arm in the league, right? So if
Yeah.
you're comparing Tua to Mahomes' arm, then yeah, it's going to be a noodle arm. But Tua's arm is strong enough to be in the NFL. It's just
Yeah, that's
not
what
a
I'm saying.
Patrick Mahomes arm or a Josh
Yeah.
Allen arm
Or a Jay Herbo.
or a
Or
Jay
a Rob.
Herbo. I can't get healthy, Jay Herbo. Streets need you.
Yeah, we need you bad, Jay Herbo. You the man. You are the man. Speaking of the man, that man played Sunday night.
Yes, he did.
Green Bay. The Packers played the Bears in Lambeau. They handled business quite mightily. Again, it was a showing that I think, in terms of quarterback, Chicago is still developing and they're still trying to figure out what this offense is going to be with Justin Fields. Um, Either way, Packers are now 1-1. Bears are 1-1 as well. Um, I think coming away from this game, I think a couple things for me. The offense is starting to move and groove, and we finally featured 133 Aaron Jones. We finally just let him cook, like Gator J said. He played Sunday. Yes, he finally played and he handled business. And good things happen when number 33 touches the ball. Shout out to AJ Dillon because good things happen when number 28 touches the ball as well. Shout out Kyle who says "Go Pack Go" in the chat. I think we have to continue utilizing our both of our running backs. I think receiver wise, you know,
Lazard got me a touchdown in fantasy. Thanks,
Lazard did a good
Alan.
job. I think I think our patchwork offensive line play is getting there. To Kyle's point, it was great to see Elton Jenkins back out there. I want to continue to kind of figure out what's going on with David Bakhtiari every day.
Yeah.
He's close, but we'll see. Um, yeah.
Can I say something about
Go ahead.
your Packers? For the love of everything holy, NFL, NBC, ESPN, CBS, whatever, we do not need to watch the Bears and Packers on prime time. I feel like for the past 5 years, we've gotten that game. In the past 5 years, it's been Aaron Rodgers beating the shit out of them for 3 hours. I know you like that, but the country like
Well,
the
I think
Sunday game.
it's less about. I think it's more about like an obligation for the Green Bay market, getting those fans. And I bet you when they look at scheduling, they look at the entirety of the NFL schedule. I bet you the price to have the Green Bay Chicago and Green Bay game in the fall is a higher priority because no one wants to travel in the winter.
I hear you, and I
And
understand.
NBC loves that game. To Kyle's point, nobody wants to see that game. Just like NBC also always keeps a Giants Cowboys game and an Eagles Cowboys game.
Hey, we can talk about that too. Especially the Giants don't need to see prime time outside of the Thursday night game every team has to play.
But yes, they do when you think about how many eyes from New York will be on that game
And
and
then and
how much ad revenue you can generate by selling that game.
here's the thing though: for every one set of New York eyes you get
But
five
it's
sets
just
of
not
other
the New
eyes that
York guys. If
leave.
you have the Dallas Cowboys playing, now you're talking about the biggest franchise
I get the
in professional
Cowboys.
sports. So now
I
you're
get the
talking about the biggest.
Cowboys.
So you're talking about the biggest franchise in sports with one of the biggest markets on planet Earth, all on one channel and one network. That's money. It
It's
be
not
like that
good.
sometimes.
It
Same
should
reason why
be.
the same people gonna go over. Cool. You don't watch college football. I mean, you don't watch NFL. Cool. Them same people gonna go over at the beginning of January, and they're gonna tell ESPN, "Yo, I see y'all got this little thing called the college football playoff, and oh, y'all expanded to 12 teams. So now all multiple markets are going to be watching these bum ass teams get bum rucked by Bama and Clemson and Ohio State and Georgia. We'll pay you money, ring, 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 ring. It's
I
all a
mean, you're
dollar.
right. You're
It's
right.
all a dollar, man.
You're right.
It is all a dollar. How about you talk me through how you feeling about the Eagles after week 2?
Woo, baby, shutting down Justin Jefferson. I don't want to get too ahead of myself, but today at work, I started looking up airline tickets to Arizona in February. Again, it's only week two.
Hey yo,
This
guard. Nah, he over here. Come arrest him. Come arrest him, guard. What are you
we
talking about?
we I don't want to get too ahead of myself. It's only week two. I'm sure we'll lose to the Commanders on Sunday, and I'll be brought back down to earth. But there's something to be said. Anyone who watched, and I'm gonna get a little nerdy right now. Anyone who watched Eagles games last year, I know last night Aikman on the broadcast kept uh, belly aching about the defense Minnesota was playing. Right, they were playing a high cover two, a shell. For those Eagles fans who really know and really watch the Eagles fans, that's the defense that Tampa Bay ran in the playoffs, and that is the defense that really throws Jalen in a loop. Zone coverages, especially the two high shell. Jalen's strength is running, right? So if they're running man coverage, the odds are that the cornerback's back will beat to Jalen, which creates lanes for him to pick up huge chunks of yards with his leg. If you play zone, you keep your eyes on Jalen, and you can also keep your eye on his receiving core. This is also a nod to A.J. Brown. That also helps because last year you just tilt your zone to wherever Devontae is. And if Quez Watkins and Jalen Rager beat me, then guess what? It's just their day. Now you have to keep yourself honest in your zones. You have to really pay attention because A.J. Brown, Devontae, and Dallas Goddard can eat your zones alive. But that also means it's easier for Jalen to pick his spots and see holes, and that's what we saw last night. The Vikings didn't have a counter because the Vikings do not, and you know this as a Packers fans, they do not have the facilities to play straight man for long periods of time. If I look across and see Patrick Peterson on AJ Brown, I'm taking that every single time and 40 times on Sunday. I don't care if Harrison Smith is bracketing him over the top. That's AJ Brown. So I'm really excited to see Jalen finally take advantage of these soft zones that people have been playing against him for years. I'm glad that he's going to the line of scrimmage and seeing that. I'm glad AJ Brown is an Eagle, and I am glad that this team finally shut down an elite receiver. Again, anyone who watched Eagles games last year, you knew once an elite receiver stepped on the field, it was a wrap. Darius Slay last night locked Justin Jefferson down, even though he got away with pass interference on that first pass. It is a great time to be an Eagles fan, which means they're going to go to DC on Sunday and lay an egg, but we'll save that for next week.
What makes you so confident that they're going to go to DC and lay an egg?
Man, I've been an Eagles fan too long to not know when disappointment is lurking around the corner. This is the Carson Wentz revenge game,
Oh, and it's in DC.
and it's in DC. Now, granted, I would think Carson would rather win that game in Philadelphia, but the way he played against Detroit. Speaking of what, shout out to Detroit. I think they are tied with Kansas City as the highest scoring teams in the NFL. Didn't see that coming.
Okay, 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 Detroit. So if you got Amon Ra, you're feeling pretty good about yourself.
Yeah, and if you play against Amon Ra, you're not feeling good.
True too. That's very true. Washington. Bam says Washington has some serious weapons.
Yes, they do. They
Should
have Scary Terry, Johan Dotson. I think what's the tight
Logan
end's name from
Thomas.
DC? Logan Thomas. Logan Thomas seems to be back and healthy. Like this is another great challenge. Now, granted, it's Carson Wentz, and anyone who watched, bless you, that Detroit game, Carson still had Carson moments. He still can't find his way around the pocket, but that is a question for another day.
Gator J is asking if Washington is going to go 2-0 versus the Eagles this year.
I think they'll split. I think they will split it with Dallas. I think they will split against the Commanders, and I think they'll sweep the Giants.
Okay, why does everyone think you're just going to sweep the Giants?
Dog, you all right? You keep riding that Giants train. Get
I'm
back to
just
me.
saying they're not going to be as bad as y'all think they will be.
And I don't think they're going to be as good as you think.
I didn't say they're going to be good. I just said they're not going to be bad. Big difference.
Okay, that's fair.
Big difference. Speaking of not being good or not being bad, let's chat a little fantasy football. Do you want to start in? Let's since we got Gator J here, we got Kyle here. Let's start with our dynasty fantasy league. I will gladly pull up the recap from this past week, Danny. If you want to maybe give your thoughts on your team, your matchup, and your performance, and where you think the state of your team is right now.
I feel okay about my team. For those who don't know, I drafted Josh Allen. Was it 3 overall, or was it 2? It was 3 because it was Jay Herbo, Jamar, and then it was me. Josh Allen, I was down by a lot, and Josh Allen brought me to victory. He and Devontae, I was in the lead. The person I was playing against had Adam Thielen, and that garbage time shit he got in the fourth quarter at the end of the game caused me to lose by 4 points. I hadn't heard a peep out of Adam Thielen for 3.5 quarters, but Kirk Cousins remembered that 19 was on his team and threw him a couple balls. Pause. And I lost by 4 points in Dynasty. But other than that, I feel okay about there's a few tweaks that I have to make. I'm still a little concerned about Cam Akers. I'm starting Christian Kirk next week. He has done well the past 2 weeks. I think Trevor Lawrence really likes Christian Kirk. So I think just a few tweaks here and there, and I'll be on the right track.
So I guess my first question to you is, what is your record?
0-2. 0-2 in Dynasty and in Redraft. I am in the gutter. But I am more confident about Dynasty right now than I am my Redraft league.
I think is it, and maybe this is a question. This is a question for you and for Gator J and for the rest of the league. Is your mind a little bit at ease in our Dynasty league because of the fact that you have 11 spots and there's more room for failure and flexibility with your positions?
Yes, and in Dynasty, I love the fact that you're the GM over the multitude of leads, because there could come a point this season where I'm like, okay, I need to start acquiring more assets and maybe put some play. Like you and I made a trade, and now I have 2 first-round picks next year, right? Like depending on where I am, 6 or 7 weeks from now, I can package those 2 first-round picks and go get a game changer this year, or I can maybe have a bit of a fire sale and gather more assets and do my best Howie Roseman impersonation. My best Danny Ainge. How about that? I can just sell everything and just gather a bunch of first round picks and sell hope for the next 7 years.
Yeah. I guess with that, where do you draw the line between maybe wanting to be competitive, but also realizing maybe this year isn't it in Dynasty, because at the same time, if you remember, you want to get a decent seed for the if you don't make the playoffs, the the consolation ladder that helps you that you have to play to get the number one seed. So doing a fire sale isn't necessarily even going to get you the number one pick because you still have to play a tournament,
Yeah.
and that you have to win the tournament to get the number one. Number
I
one
mean,
pick.
you could always tank, right? Like I could bench Josh Allen and go get Carson Wentz
But
and
I'm saying you
tank.
can't tank if even if you don't make the playoffs, you're still playing in a tournament.
Yeah, I mean, like if I'm close to the number one seed, if I'm a few games out, like I can bench Josh Allen. I'm not going to do that because I'm trying to win no matter what. Like I'm not that kind of GM. But I'm saying in theory, if someone wanted the number one pick, they could always bench their starters and get a bunch of scrubs, or bench the key ones and go get a scrub.
Yeah, I just feel like we all want to be we all want to be
Yeah,
competitive.
this league wants to be competitive. This is not the redraft league with someone who would do something like that. But
Although
I'm
although we're going to get to this redraft league, I don't even think they would want to do that in that league either, just because
not
I
anymore.
think I think with these new rules, and I want to credit the commissioner of that league with these new rules in place in that league. I mean, the the attention to detail and keeping everyone informed, I really think that league could be something. But we'll get there though. In this week three matchup though. Well, look in the chat though. I'm seeing some funny stuff. So Bam says D's been waiting on this moment all week. It's week two, and he is already telling some of us better luck next year. No, I'm saying keep pushing because whether you make the playoffs or not, you're going to be in a tournament. And whether your tournament ends in a championship or it can end with the number one pick, keep playing. That's why I formatted it the way I did. And Bam and Gator Jerry getting a laugh at it. So I want to talk through some of these matchups in week three, right? Because I'm sitting here at 2-0 and I'm looking at my roster. I play Bendit. Oh, I'm not going to say his. Actually, I'm going to read usernames and not team names because team names can be funny. So say it, not shay it. I'm playing him this week. I'm looking at my matchup. I mean, he's got some dogs on his side. You know, Pat Mahomes, Lenny, Amon Ra. He's got the Kelsey connection. So, and I'll tell you what, in another league, I actually have the Mahomes, the Kelsey connection with Lenny as my running back as well. So, he's got some good IDPs. Yo, can I ask you and some other folks in the chat after 2 weeks? How are you guys? What are your thoughts on the IDPs and their points and you know what I'm saying?
I like it. For me, it justifies me taking Josh Allen 3. Because had I taken an elite receiver like Jamar or Justin, it would take a lot because I was down by a lot. I was down by a solid 40 before walking into Monday. And had I not had Josh Allen, I wouldn't have stood a chance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm glad because I see a lot of defensive plays. I'm like somebody somewhere in the league is getting points
Yeah.
for that. But I think where I'm like, damn, that's unfortunate is if it's like a defensive player that maybe it's not as known. It's like, damn, someone missed out on that points. But that's the evolution of fantasy. Like when they do the big guy touchdowns, it's just
Yeah.
super unfortunate.
For me, it's I hate that like Nick Bosa gets he sacks the quarterback, strips him, but then like someone comes and picks up the fumble. Like that is annoying. Like if Nick could just complete the play.
But you get points for all that. You get points for all that though. You just don't
Yeah, but
get.
you get extra for the fumble recovery, right?
You do. You do. You
Yeah.
do. I will also say in this league and in the other league and in the other sleeper league I'm commissioning in, the bonus points for the plus 40 and plus 50 yard
Yeah.
scores. I mean, yo, you can rack up some points. Rack up some
Again,
good points.
another reason I picked Josh Allen.
Because as you know, with the not Buffalo, with the Dolphins Ravens game, I mean, I had Tyreek Hill, and I mean, it's going crazy over here. I also have Lamar Jackson, and I now, thanks to a great move in my first round pick, I have Mark Andrews at my tight end position. So I've really built this team of mine around Lamar Jackson. Have him, high as a QB1. I have Mark Andrews as my tight end, And I also have Devin Duvernay, who I may start starting, who I may start
Okay.
inserting in the lineup as a wide receiver. So that way, as long as Lamar is healthy, I can get the stack with him, Andrews, and a wide receiver. So I'm feeling good about this team. Let's see who else. Some other matchups that I'm actually looking forward to. Honestly, Danny, yours is another matchup I'm looking forward to. You're 0-2 in this league. You're going against someone who's 2-0. So which goose egg cracks? Um,
We play
uh,
each other in both leagues this week, right?
no, just one, just one.
Okay.
Um, Kyle, surprising 0-2 start versus another 0-2 team. So which goose egg is going to crack? And another one. Here we go. Gator J at the bottom. Gator J, he's leading. He's leading the league in scoring by a pretty good margin, almost 80
Yeah.
points. Um, he plays someone I recently I played week one. He played really well. I believe he got his first win last week, probably with the help of Stephon Diggs and a few other guys. So Gator J, I'll be looking at your matchup this week as well. Bam said D line gets no love in IDP, but backers and corners are feasted. Yeah, Bam. So the thing about the IDPs is you need, if you got someone like a Micah Parsons, that's the type of D lineman that you need, someone that just
Yeah.
impacts the game. Outside of that, I would say definitely, if you're not getting a dominant defensive lineman, you got to be looking at a every down backer or a lockdown corner for interceptions. So. Uh, yeah, definitely looking forward to this league. Bam. Oh yeah, Bam. You and Gator J play this week. I'm sorry, I didn't read the username. I'm sorry, I just saw the team name. So it's Bam versus Gator J this week. So really excited for that matchup. So you know, Hutch got 12 again this week. Yeah, that's a good pickup. Aiden Hutchinson, that was a good pickup. Whoever got him. Danny, let's shift over to our redraft league, which
Yeah.
y'all hear that?
GUTTER.
Y'all hear that sigh? Look, we ain't even got into it
Gutter.
yet into this redraft league, and listen to him.
Gutter. This is
All
the
right, go
league that
ahead.
at least like I can't afford because the loser has to pay half the winners, and I am in last place right now.
So the stipulation is you either leave the league or pay half of the league's buy-in. But can I
The
tell you something
winner.
before half of the winners buy-in? But can I tell you something that I think I want to add as a stipulation, but I want to drop it on the folks. But I guess that doesn't matter. I'm saying it here, but I want to drop it in the chat. They're not paying attention, but I want to drop it in the chat. Anytime someone leaves the league and we have to find a new person, divisions get reset.
I like that because they've been ragging on us, and rightfully so. Because like dog, like you and I had a long conversation today. I almost had a fire sale this
Yeah,
morning.
yeah, you did. Yeah,
I
you did.
almost like I almost
Yeah,
like
you did. Which would have. Let me tell you, all the shit I would have been talking. You go on fire self week two, and now everyone's like, "Dang, you thought blah blah blah." Give it
like
some time.
like
Give it. Some,
Joe and like Cole Komet is gone. Like fuck him. Like I think that you got to go. He getting out the paint this week.
I think so.
Yeah, he gone. Derrick Henry, you on the trading block, but you talked me out of it. I was about to trade Derrick Henry this morning. You talked me out of it.
Telling you, he's got 6 games against the AFC South. I wouldn't trade him. Are you kidding me?
Nick
Um,
Chubb is doing his thing.
so, question for you: What did you think of the recap for week two? Give me some thoughts you
I
had.
mean, you just spent the whole time talking shit about me. The whole chart is how much I suck.
No, that my brother, you took it that way because you are 0
I'm at
and
the
2.
bottom of everything.
Well, my I want to let you know you're winless with the least amount of points scored. So I don't even
Joe, throw it to Jamar.
like I don't know what to say. You know what I'm
Dog,
saying?
the gutter.
How do you think it makes me feel having to see you with the goose egg in the win department?
Dog, I feel like you. I don't. I'm glad I don't talk a lot in that chat because they would drag me to the pits of hell.
But that's why when you start winning, you got to talk your shit. You haven't noticed? That's the theme. That's the theme. There's only
I
one way to
guess,
go from here, like Kyle said. And he also said in the redraft he would just drop Komet for a tight end getting
dog.
targets. I agree.
Komet is getting sold for some Gatorade.
No,
He'll
you don't even
never.
need to. Don't even sell him. Drop him. Find you a better tight end.
I put in a waiver claim for a tight end that was on. I know he's old, but dog, Zach Ertz give me anything. Like Zach Ertz is better than Cole Komet,
That's true.
and I'm
Any
one
other
in the
thoughts?
waiver wire, so it doesn't matter.
Any other thoughts on the recap for week 2 before I give my commissioner's thoughts?
This is go to your thoughts. I have nothing.
All right. So for those who don't know, we were talking about the redraft league. I also commission 10 teams PPR. It's full redraft. I also create a weekly recap for this league. Um, I would say the biggest thing is that I can already tell this entire league is going to be way more competitive throughout the entirety of this league for just because of the incentives for being the highest scoring team, for winning the division, and for not coming in last. I will say that Fidel's team, he's already scored 346 points in a PPR league in 2 weeks. Next closest is Zorian at 280. So I believe his team's going to stagnate. He's got Amon Ra. He's got Josh Allen. He's got a few other really good players. I feel like his team's going to maybe stagnate at some point. I think fantasy football is it's all about bells and curves. You just got to stagnate and ride the wave. Another thought I had, Danny. Look, I'm looking at the power rankings.
Mm-hmm.
Danny, while you're at number 10, I definitely see I definitely see you going up. I definitely see you going up.
I hope
But
so.
according to the power rankings, as we look ahead to week 3 in fantasy football, according to the commissioner's power rankings, this week we have the number 1 ranked team versus the number 4 ranked team. So should be a good one. We still have 2 unbeatens left. 2 unbeatens left, one in each conference or one in each division. So it's a good
And
one.
there are two goose
And I'm
egg teams, right?
there's two undefeated teams and 2 winless teams, and one of which was a champion. He was the inaugural champion of the league. He's been searching for his way since that fluke championship. Um, Other than that, man, I'm really excited. Really loving the energy. Really loving the energy, and across both of the leagues, in both the dynasty and the redraft. I definitely see that. I definitely love the attention to detail in our dynasty league, and I love the attention to shit talking in our redraft league. All right. Last thing before we get out of here, we want to speak to our speak to a segment. We're going to speak on our speak to a segment. So last week, people, we reintroduced our speak to a segment. It's going to be a segment where we take questions in our quick hitter section from the crowd, just to make sure, loving. Of course, we love all our chat interaction. We're going to always continue to get back to you guys in the chat, but just in case you guys have any other questions about Danny or myself, whether you're in our fantasy league and want us to talk maybe a little bit about what you're thinking, sit or start, I'll be objective, even if it's against me and Danny's team. Or if you guys just want to chat about life, I think we gave the wrong email last week. So me and Danny wanted to make sure we give the right email this week. And we're going to start this segment in episode 74 next Tuesday. So you guys make sure you send your questions, your thoughts, anything you want to know to speakonitpod14@gmail.com. It is speakonit14. No, excuse me. It is speakonitpod14@gmail.com. That is speakonitpod14@gmail.com. SPEAKONITPOD14@gmail.com. Send your name, send your question, and then we'll make sure that we read it out, where you're from, who you are, your question, and we'll get right to it. So we'll be starting this next week, episode 74. Dan, did I forget anything?
No, like you said, ask us anything. I know a lot of y'all, a lot of people in these streets might be single, need some dating advice. Should I pay for this? What should I do for that? How do I treat my lady? Her birthday coming up, I don't know what to do or whatever, right? Like that's what we're here for. Like we're here to talk about sports and have a good time. But we're also here to act like you like some spiritual guidance or some sort of guidance throughout your
Yeah.
life.
And if you ever have a question on if you should take the over and the under, send us your
Yes.
thoughts on why you should think you should go either or, whether it's over under any sort of bet, and we'll give you our best opinionated thoughts as opinions,
Two
not the
things
judgment.
from two things, yeah, for don't yeah, for gambling, we are not professionals. You just get that out there. Bam, there is no collusion. That trade D and I made was extremely fair, and I am okay with it. And yes,
We
we
can
will
read it
tweet
out.
out.
We can read it out. So
Yeah,
for context, in our
in our dynasty league.
dynasty league, Danny and I made a trade. It was, hold on.
I think it was Deontay Johnson in a first round pick, your first round pick next year. That's what I got. And you got Mark Andrews and my second round pick next year.
Yep. So the trade was Mark Andrews in a 2023 second round pick for Deontay Johnson in a 2023 first round pick. And that trade was accepted. As spoken to earlier, this dynasty team I really built around Lamar Jackson and him being the franchise quarterback that I think he is. So I wanted to make sure I had the Mark Andrews, Lamar Jackson stack. And I also have the Devin Duvernay as well. So I'll probably start inserting Devin Duvernay as well. So that way I'm maximizing on all points from the Baltimore Ravens. Gator J said there's no tight end premium. I believe yes and no. I believe if you have a good tight end, hopefully you're finding a way to build around them on your team. But I also feel like I think there's a way to build a premium at any position on any team, just how you want to
Yeah.
build your roster. Bam asked, will you guys tweet out the email and the sportsbook app? Well, we are not professionals. Um,
I think he's asking like the website. Yeah, we'll tweet that. We'll tweet out the website. We'll tweet out the email. Yeah, we'll tweet that out.
what does he mean by the sportsbook app?
Just the I think like the webs not our bets, like just a link to the website.
No. Okay. I think I
Am I
understand.
am I right on that, Bam?
I don't know. I don't know. He just means scored. Oh, I guess I don't know. Honestly, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm a little
Maybe.
confused too.
So Kyle says in terms of oh, I think he means our sponsor, by the way.
Yeah. So yes, Bam, I will tweet out the website to our sponsor, No House Advantage, and then we will also tweet out the email, probably even put it in the description at the on the Twitter page.
Yeah, gotcha. Cool. So to Gator J's point about there being no tight end premium, Kyle said that Gator J was referring to the scoring. Yeah, he said there's no premium in points scored for tight end. I guess so. I guess so. I guess you can still get by with like an average to average. You can win this league, I believe, with Pat Frymuth that's your tight end, and I believe you can win this league with Travis Kelce as your tight end.
Yeah.
Danny, anything else, man? We talked about a lot, man. This is a great show.
This was a great show. A lot of great interaction. Shout out to everyone that came by. Big one, the usuals: Cal, Gator, Bam, Jamie. Appreciate all y'all stopping by, commenting, showing love. Like you
And make sure
said,
you guys tell a friend and a friend's friend to pull up too, because the more conversations, the more thoughts, the better. Because we're really fan interaction heavy, so the more conversations, the better this always goes. And to everyone who's listening, who can't join the live, we really appreciate you guys always showing love and support. And again, you guys make sure you send us your questions. Speak on it pod14@gmail.com. We definitely want to hear from you guys who are hearing and listening via audio. Make sure we get your thoughts out. Danny, go ahead.
Find me on the Bird app, Danny Ocean 41. This was great. Again, appreciate everyone for stopping by. Again, the email is speakonitpod14@gmail.com. Send us your questions. Any question, just make sure it is somewhat appropriate. We're not going to be answering a reckless ass question. Like, subscribe on YouTube, wherever you get your podcasts. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on Instagram. We're just out here having a ball.
And make sure you guys are sharing. If you guys sharing the pod out, make sure you guys are commenting as well. That engagement really helps. Make sure you guys are subscribing and following us on Instagram and Twitter at speakonit_pod. My name is Los D Mix. Make sure you follow me as well on Instagram and Twitter. That's LOSDEEMIX. Shout out to the love and the support. And to everyone watching on YouTube, shout out. Hope the backdrop looks good. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting a haircut this week. So next time y'all see me, the fresh non-fade will be back. So if you're watching on YouTube, you know what I'm saying? Make sure your girlfriend don't watch next week because she might look at you.
I'm getting my hair cut tomorrow too. I'm cutting my hair tomorrow and I'm cutting my beard on Thursday. And also one last thing, shout out to the Going for Two Live family, Kyle, Gator J. They also do great work. Jamie, everyone, just great work across the board. So please, Gator, Kyle, anyone else in the fam, drop your show in the comment. We'll highlight it so people know where to follow you and get your content because y'all do great work as well.
Yes, sir. As much love to all the Going for Two family. Danny, anything else?
Well, now I asked them to drop their show in the chat, so now we have to kill a couple of minutes.
All right. Well, while they do that, let me queue up. I think I got a little something for us to get out to.
All right. Jamie said he's going to be a guest on the cheat sheet tonight. Jamie, what is your Twitter handle so people can follow you? Gator J, Thursday night, 7:00. Danny, Bam is talking about my hair. Leave me alone. Stop being a bully before we kick you out of the club. What we listen to? Okay, Gator. Gator said Dynasty Gambit pregame Thursdays at 7:00. That's right, before our before kickoff. Follow Jamie at Jamie Perogda. Say that right, JamiePerog. Kyle every Monday night.
Every Monday,
7:00. Kyle is bringing that heat.
Yes,
one of the smartest people. That's why he is research, even though we have not paid him yet. Follow Gator J at Fantasy J77.
Shout out Gator J.
Appreciate y'all coming through. Again, we will catch you next week. Speakonitpod14@gmail.com.
Speakonitpod14@gmail.com, people. Make sure y'all holler at us. Even if it's starter sit, we'll answer those too. Today, we're going to get out to The Realist by ESTG and Jeezy. I'm telling you.
Hey!
This song right here.
Is it?
Come on, man. Heard this in the gym. Come on, man. I had to keep running back a few times.
Hey. And that's it for us.
Peace.